Hello everyone. So we are going to start the part 5 from the unit micromatrix. So in this part we are going to deal with the different phenomenon which affect the flow property of powders, as these parameters are important in designing of different dosage form and their manufacture in the pharmaceutical unit operation. So without wasting any time, let's start the presentation. So powder flow properties. In the topic powder flow properties, we have to consider a few things. You see, the pharmaceutical powder, they are basically classified as either your free flowing powder or your cohesive powder. The free flowing powder, actually they used to flow freely. Whenever you are allowing this powder to flow through any channel, any cylinder, any pipe, this powder will flow freely. But there is one more class of powder that is known as the cohesive powder. They generally try to form granules, or you can say they agglomerate, they try to agglomerate, and they generally hinder the flowability of the powder, right? So you see, so most flow property of the powder, they are generally affected by change in few parameters. Number one, change of particle size. If we are going to change the particle size of the powder, the flowability or the flow property of the powder will change. The next one, it is the density of the powder, then the electrostatic charge which is present over the surface of the powder, and finally the absorbed moisture. The moisture also affect the flowability of the powder, right? So we all know that the good flow property, it is required for easy as well as uniform flow from the hooper to the die. Now what is a hooper? Hooper, it is the vessel that in which you are going to put the granules or the powder, which is subjected for compression for forming the tablet. From the hooper, the powder they used to flow to the die. In the die, the tablet they are generally used to get punched, right? So a good flow property is always desirable for any pharmaceutical unit form, as because if the powder is having a good flow property, then it can easily flow from the hooper to the die, and it actually ensure accurate dosing and the dose of the pharmaceutical dosage form. For example, it's the tablet, right? Moreover, there is one more term, that is the angle of repose. So the angle of repose, actually it is used, or it is calculated for estimating the flow properties of the powder. So we are going to deal with the angle of repose in the upcoming slides, but right for now you just need to know the definition. So what do you mean by angle of repose? It is defined, actually angle of repose, it is defined as a maximum possible angle between the surface of a pile of powder. Whenever we are allowing the powder to flow through a pipe, they will form a pile, right? So angle of repose means the angle between the pile of powder with that of the horizontal surface, on the surface on which the powder it has fallen. It has fallen, right? So this is the angle of repose. See, we generally used to perform like this in our laboratory. This is a simple funnel. If we allow this for instrument, you can say it as a hooper. For laboratory scale, it is the funnel. So if we allow the powder to flow through the funnel, they will flow like this. This is the powder pile, right? So the angle of repose, actually nothing but it is the angle, this angle, the angle made by the pile of the powder with that of the horizontal surface, this angle. This is known as the angle of repose, right? So you see, for fine particles, the angle of repose, it is very less. For example, here for fine sand, it is around 35 degree. For coarse sand, the bigger size sand, it is 40 degree. For angular pebbles, pebbles are the stones. We can define as a form of stone only, right? For angular pebbles, the angle of repose, it is 45 degree, right? So now you see, so simple flow rate apparatus, as I have already shown you, consisting of the metal tube from which the drug flows through the orifice, that is the funnel, into the electronic balance is connected to the recorder, just to see the angle of repose, right? The angle of repose determination is using the reposograph. Reposograph we used to use for determining the angle of repose, right? There is one more term. This is known as the Carr's index for flowability of the powder. What is the Carr's index? It is nothing but it is the percentage compressibility. Carr's index, it is also known as the percentage compressibility. Carr's index is equal to bulk volume of the powder minus tap volume multiplied by 100 divided by bulk volume, right? There is one more index is there. This is known as the Hosner ratio. Hosner ratio is nothing but the tap volume divided by bulk density, or you can say the bulk volume divided by tap volume. This is the Hosner ratio. So you see we have a graph, we have a chart. From here you're going to get the value. So this is the compressibility index, right? So if it is compressibility index is 10, the flow property it is said to be excellent, and Hosner ratio it is generally 1 to 1.11. If the compressibility index is in between 11 to 15, it is said to be flow property is said to be good. 16 to 20 it is said to be fair. 21 to 25 it is the passable. 26 to 31 it is poor. 32 to 37 it is very poor, and greater than 38 it is very, very poor. This is the index generally we use in the pharmaceutical industry. So how we are going to determine the rate of flow from the angle of repose? See, if the angle of repose is in between 25 degree to 30 degree, the flow property is said to be excellent. If the angle of repose is 31 to 35, it is said to be good. If the angle of repose is in between 36 to 40, it is said fair. 41 to 45, it is passable, and like that only, right? So angle of repose less than 20, excellent flow. You are going to get excellent flow of the powder. Angle of repose 20 to 30, you are going to good flow. Angle of repose between 30 to 40, we used to say it is a fast flow. Angle of repose greater than 40, very poor flow of the powder through the hooper, right? So the thing is that you should keep in your mind that the rougher and more irregular surface of the particle, if the particle present in the powder it is rough, and if it has a irregular surface, then the angle of repose will be higher. I repeat, rougher and more irregular surface of the particles, it led to the high value of angle of repose. So now the factors which affecting the flow properties of the powder. So as I already told you, number one factor, it is the alteration of particle size as well as their distribution. Number one factor, it will affect the flow property of the powder. Number two, it is the alteration of the particle shape and its texture. It will affect the flow property. Number three, alteration of the surface forces. And number four, it is the formulation additive. So these things we are going to discuss now, right? So let's see the alteration of particle size and the distribution first. So you see there is certain size, certain particle size at which the powder flow property is optimum size of the particle, right? So that size in which the flow property is optimum, it is considered for formulation of the different granules or powders drug, right? Now the thing is that the coarse particles, they are more preferred than the fine particles as they are less cohesive. I repeat, the coarse particle in the formulation, the coarse particles in the formulations are preferred as compared to that of the fine particles, because the coarse particles, they are less cohesive, right? So the size distribution, it also altered the size distribution can be altered to improve the flow property by removing the fine particles. How can remove the fine particles? Simple, just by using the sieve, right? Fine particle fractions, or by increasing the proportion of the coarse particles as occur in the granulation. So how we are going to increase the coarse particle? Just by doing the operation granulation. If you do granulation, granules will form. These granules will have coarse structure, right? Thus it will lead to the good flowability of the powdered drug, right? So in the alteration of the particle shape and the texture, first of all you see particle shape. So generally we all know that more spherical particles have better flow properties than more irregular particles. If the particle surface or shape, if the particle shape it is spherical, it will have a great flowability, right? And the spherical particles how you are going to obtain in the formulation? The spherical particle you can obtain by using either spray drying technique or temperature cycling crystallization. So we generally prefer the spray drying technique. We have already discussed regarding the spray drying. If you remember, that is the FBD, fluidized bed dryer, right? The next thing, it is the particle texture. So particles, we have already discussed, particles with the rough surfaces will become more cohesive and they have greater tendency to interlock than the particles with a smooth surface. I repeat, particles with a rough surface. Particles with a rough surface, they will be more cohesive because the surface is rough. These particles, they can interlock among the edges of the other particle and they ultimately lead to the greater cohesive force. But if the particle surface it is smooth, then the cohesive force is less. Then the next thing, it is the alteration of the surface force. So you see how you are going to alter the surface forces. Number one, reduction of electrostatic charges. It can improve the flow property of the powder. So you have to reduce the electrostatic charge which is present over the surface of the powder. Next thing, it is that electrostatic charge can be reduced. How you are going to reduce? By altering the process condition to reduce the frictional contacts. So during the preparation of the powder, if we do some modification, then the electrostatic charge which is present on the surface of the particle can be reduced, right? The next thing, it is the moisture content. So we all know that the moisture content of the particle, it generally affects the flowability. So as the moisture is present, the moisture may be absorbed on the surface of the solid particle, that is the drug. The moisture may be absorbed at the surface, right, of the particle, and they may form a film. This is known as the moisture films, and it tends to actually increase the bulk density and it reduces the porosity of the powder. So it affects the flowability. The moisture contents affect the flowability of the powder. So what is the solution? Drying the particles will reduce the cohesiveness and improve the flow, as the drying will lead to removal of the moisture completely. Moreover, you see, hygroscopic powders, they are stored and processed under low humidity condition. There are many hygroscopic powder, right? In your day-to-day life, you have come across different hygroscopic salt also. For example, NaCl. If we store NaCl in an open tumbler, it will become moist, right? So for processing hygroscopic powder, we generally process it under low humidity condition. The next thing, it is the formulation additives. So the formulation additives, they are also known as a flow activator. Why we use this formulation additive or flow activator? The flow activator, actually they are used to increase the flow property of the powder. It is necessary as because whenever the granules or the powders will move from the hooper to the dry, if the flow activators are not present, the powder will not flow properly. Thus we use the flow activator to increase the flowability of the powder, right? So the flow activator, they are commonly known as the glidants. Flow activator, they are commonly known as the glidants. Let's take some example of glidants. So flow activators, they actually increase the flowability of the powder by reducing the aeration and the cohesion among the powdered drug molecules, means drug particles, right? So example, glidants, talc, maize starch, magnesium stearate, these are some of the glidants which are widely used in the pharmaceutical unit operation. Okay? So thank you everyone. If you like the video, just press the like icon. You can share this video and you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again.